Do you guys realize just how much more good Spider-Man could have done for the city? How much more he could have cleaned up if he had been bitten by a radioactive dung beetle? I assume you'll know what dung beetles are. You know, little beetle collects a bunch of poo, rolls it up into a big ball, and then gives it to his wife as like a present. He's just like, look, I have a giant pile of shit. Do you feel like making children now? It's fresh at the moment. Don't want to let good shit go to waste. All right, so we've got that memorized. What was the second half? I know it goes into Mary Jane watching somehow. Oh, right. And as the new dung man, fucking Uncle Ben's quote would change, being like, with great sanitation comes, with great responsibility comes wonderful sanitation. And I forgot my third line, so we're going to go straight into the Mary Jane part. And I just picture Dung Man rolling that ball up to Mary Jane's front door. And she just opens it up, being like, Peter, we've been through this. And he just has a mental breakdown. Do you think I like picking up piles? Do you think I enjoy this shit? I do. And I hate it. I hate how much I love to collect piles of poop for you. Do you think I don't have danger sense, okay? I have poop sense. I'm a dung beetle. Anytime a dog has to take a shit, anytime a homeless man pops a squat, I immediately know. Before it even comes out, I can sense it. Then his phone starts ringing. Dun 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 dun. Dung man, dung man, dung man. Hello? Yes, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I understand. Thank you. Sorry, MJ. Duty calls. That's right, it's all poop related. He's fucking dung man. So, I'm actually excited for the Harry Potter remake. You know, because it means they're going to finally be able to go deeper into the backstory of characters that haven't seen a lot of limelight. Like my favorite character, Hagrid's dad. You see, Hagrid, for those who don't know, is half human and half giant. Which means that man hooked up with a 25-foot tall woman and lived. He must have just been staring at the world's tallest vagina, being like, I will find a way to make that work. I'm just like, how though? I got a few theories, like maybe he just dove in head first, like a salmon at the end of its life cycle. Or, since it's the wizarding world, anything's possible. Perhaps it's a little known fact that the giant vagina is on the bottom of the ankle. The vaginicle, as it's known. And he just latched on like a koala, using corn for leverage, being like, hoo-hoo! Got himself a little bundle of joy and some athlete's foot. Or my personal favorite, the more likely of scenarios, he just whipped out his wand, used that old enlargement charm, Ejaculosaur, gave himself a massive hog, started hawking his meat around town, being like, giant cock here, magically enhanced, taking on all challengers. And that's when you hear from behind him, I'll do it. You just see this giant Danny DeVito with tits waddling over. Fee, fi, fo, duck. I smell a wizard I'd love to fuck. Hey. I think we can all agree that Hagrid's dad is the greatest of all short kings. Are you guys familiar with Ursula? You know, from Little Mermaid. And how she was like half octopus? What if she actually had a real octopus's mouth? You know, where a mouth should be, you know, between her legs, just poking out like, that sea bitch would have a beak. I'm talking Boba Fett being digested by the Sarlacc pit for 1,000 years. Fucking beak. Probably why she got banned from those parties in the first place. I just pictured her showing up uninvited, sliding across hors d'oeuvres like an insane Roomba with tits, just being like, tapas? My favorite. She inches on over into the punch bowl, starts marinating that shit, gargling. I'm getting hints of vanilla, oak, and a whole lot of shellfish. So much of my childhood has been ruined by Pornhub. Like the other day, I came across this parody for DuckTales. They called it Cocktails, starring Splooge McDuck, Ooey Gooey and Louie, which I thought was weird they kept the third name the same. And the theme song is just as catchy as the original. And I apologize in advance. Life is like a nightmare here in my room. Dishes, mistress, boyfriends. It's a cock blur. Might beg for mercy, but she'll just ignore me. Cocktails, boo-hoo. Every day I'm out here taking cocktails. Boo-hoo. Tales of staring so sad and blue. No fuck tales. Boo-hoo. I'm gonna stop there. I don't feel like everybody's getting into that song just yet. And please don't bother looking it up. It doesn't actually exist. I made the entire thing up. I just had to blame Pornhub so Disney wouldn't fucking sue my ass. Like, that's the one thing they're worried about. Like, you gave Ursula a fucking beak. You think the cocktails is what they're worried about? So I'm actually dating a black woman from Brazil. Because I like my women the way I like my Arabica mix. Black, Brazilian, and sometimes a little bitter when I forget the sugar and cream. So I was just messaging my baby the other day, making her laugh, or at least trying to, and she was texting me back with the letter KKK. And I had to ask her, like, baby, do you know what that means in America? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I was texting in Portuguese. Yeah, so it turns out, in Brazil, they don't text ha ha ha. They text ka ka ka, which they abbreviate as KKK. So then I was just in a precarious situation as a white man, explaining the Ku Klux Klan to my girlfriend. And here's the best way I went with. All right, baby, first off, they really like dressing up as spooky ghosts. And she just goes, like Carnival. No, not like Carnival. Then I thought, crosses, they really like crosses. It's usually made of wood. And she goes, like Jesus. Close, but no. Finally, I just gave up and went, it's a bunch of white people, they hate black people. And she goes, like your grandmother. Yes, thank you, like my grandmother. She gets it. So I figured out where black man confidence comes from. And it's not the massive dick, like so many people do assume. Oh no, it's the rap. You see, rap is just a bunch of positive affirmations disguised as felony threats. Turns out, telling yourself, I get all the money, I get all the bitches, 3 birthday wishes, that's just great for your mental health. What I'm trying to say is rap lyrics are basically vision boards you can twerk to. Unfortunately, you can't just manifest with any rap lyric. I found that out the hard way. I tried to manifest with Cardi B. Now I share a bed with three strong black men, and I'm the little spoon. I even tried to manifest with Ludacris. I know child support and area codes 214, 502, and 713. And I even tried to manifest with Notorious B.I.G. Now I'm a ghost with diabetes because Diddy fucked me and had me killed to keep me quiet. And you might be wondering what's on my current vision board. My current vision board, I've got a 50 Cent. In case I get shot 9 times, I can retire. And I got a picture of Eminem because I want to be talented enough to say it too. You know, they say you can't hit women, but the only mosquitoes that bite are female. Which means I will slap the shit out of a mosquito hoe. Just hitting different parts of my body. Fuck you, Jessica. Fuck you, Brittany. Fuck you, Katie. You'll never have my kids. They say, you know, parenting, it's about 100 times harder the moment your children discover masturbation. Oh, yes. Y'all are in the adult portion of my show. Strap in and strap on. About 1 million times harder for my dad when I found mom's toys. See, one day I was just a kid breaking into their room because I was just looking for fucking money. And I went straight to their closet and looked at the top shelf. There was a paper bag, which I was convinced was full of cold hard cash. So I grabbed this bag, yank it down, and raining upon my head was 8-foot-long 1980s rubber dildos bouncing off the top of my head. And rather than just running away scared and going home carrying that trauma for the rest of my life, I looked at one of those and thought, you know what? Bet I can use one of those. It's available, it's here, there's nobody around. So I did. But I used it wrong. Because you can use a dildo wrong. If it's old enough. I understand that made it sound like it was corrugated, kind of moldy. Like I did not have sex with SpongeBob SquarePants. I did, however, realize this thing had a hot dog-sized hole at the bottom and took that shit into the bathroom, pissed in God's face for about 30 seconds, and then put it right back in the bag. Thought nothing of it. You know, because as a teenager, teenage boys in general, we don't think about where the cum goes until it's time to fucking move. So Dad comes home. And thank God Dad came home first. I would not want to have to explain that shit to my mother, being like, yes, Mom, I'm an animal. What can I say? So he gets to his room. I'm just sitting in my room doing nothing. And when that smell hit his face, there's not a lot of things that smell like that. I just picture him like as a decanter. He's just holding it up like it's a glass of wine, be like, this doesn't smell like a Richard's Blue Roux. There's significantly less pineapple. So now he's got to have a conversation with his son. He's got to prevent this from happening again. Comes to my room and goes, son? Yes, Papa? Because that's how I sound in my fucking memories as a eccentric British 18th century boy. Whatever is the matter, Papa? And he's like, what's with the voice? When you make a mess, clean up after yourself. Which is probably the most Disney-level G-rated thing you could say, given the situation. And you think that would have been enough. I'm like, whatever are those for, Father? And he's like, your mother, she's not into that anymore, and he walks away. And you think that'd be enough to stop me. But the very next day, I was right back in that closet again. They left me at home, it's their fault again. I go right inside, I look up at the top shelf, and realize, oh no, they took my treasure and replaced it with a picture of a very disappointed Jesus. You know how blind people read Braille? if a blind guy were to, you guys know Machete, Danny Trejo. If a blind guy was to touch Danny Trejo's face, I bet he'd be going like, of course. I know exactly where Blackbeard's gold is buried. Because treasure map, X marks the spot, but for Danny Trejo, it's XXX, stab wound, gunshot, stab wound, X marks the spot. If a blind guy tried to read Danny Trejo's face, he would instantly learn Spanish and have the entire Machete trilogy memorized, including the third one that never got made. If Danny Trejo needed a facelift, or accepted one, you would need a shovel and fucking concrete. And even then, that wall would still blink. If ever there was one celebrity that you know for certain never went to a fucking Diddy party, it is Danny Trejo. Because he would have used up every single bottle of lotion just to keep himself from drying the air out. I'd still give him a kiss, though. Mind you, I'd be mid-smooch being like, get this man some Clinique and a belt sander. And even afterwards, I need a bucket of chapstick just to keep myself from bleeding out. As far as the last one, if you were to do a side-by-side comparison between Danny Trejo's face and a pug, they would both bite. Look, I've got nothing against the world's manliest Mexican. I just can't stand his skincare routine. And I'll leave you guys with this. Intolerant people, they don't really have a superhero. Nor should they. But that did not stop me from creating one. Which is why I invented Intolerant Man. You see, Intolerant Man has the power to fly to other countries and demand they speak English. Intolerant Man gets physically ill anytime he hears, tastes, or smells MSG. And Intolerant Man has the power to turn down ethnic music anytime Steely Dan gets interrupted. And this next bit of material is the day Intolerant Man dies. And I do go kind of quick, so try to keep up. One day, Intolerant Man sees a gay Jewish couple kissing in front of a Cracker Barrel and passes out from sheer outrage. Then he wakes up in the future, where everyone is ethnically ambiguous. No categories, just humans. So he panics, runs to a nearby mall screaming, "Where are my people?" Then this mixed-race toddler looks up at him. "Sir, have you tried ayahuasca?" And he panics, runs to a nearby bathroom. He's shaking, he's sweating, and staring back at him from the mirror is Kanye West. He slaps his face. It's still Kanye. He touches his hair. It's different. He opens his pants. The one-eyed purple monster. And he screams to the heavens, "My white soul! It's leaving my body!" Then this mayonnaise-colored soul rises up from the chest of Intolerant Man, moaning as it ascends, as one final tragic tear rolls down his face. In the shape of a Confederate flag. You see, Intolerant Man had become the one thing he hated most, being successful and black. Thank you so much. That's my time. Woohoo!